Hi friends! If you click to check out the new Natasha Denona Triochrome Eyeshadow palette, then please keep on watching. Hi, I'm Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. This has just arrived at my doorstep, and with that said, video will be your first impressions, as well as timestamps being available down in the description box, as well as marked here on the time bar. I ordered this from NatashaDenona.com on pre-order day because I saw how many people were successful in receiving their mini Zendo, and I needed nude glow highlighters quickly with their pre-orders. Hope it would have shipped on the 3rd, but it shipped on the 4th. I ordered mine from Sephora. Mine came late from Sephora, but now you could get at Sephora, get 20% off, but I failed to do so. I'm not salty about it whatsoever. Anyway, not only can you get this from NatashaDenona.com, you could get it from Sephora, and if you are Rouge, you could get 20% off, yeah, be it 15% off until the 9th, and this is also available on Beautylish. Maybe you could use your gift card money. Here is the box, and yes, my nails match the multichrome of the box. No other than Hello Taco's Miss Shift. It's very hard to see the shift. It shifts from green to purple is basically what this box is. And on this hand, I have the Live Love polish. It dries down matte, but it has sparkles, so there's like a glow on the nail. And if you don't want it to dry matte, you could apply a top coat and it will dry shiny and sparkly. This is the Live Love polish, Dream Within a Dream. All right, we are back to her originally size 15 pan palette format. This palette retails for $129. Each pan weighs in at 2.5 grams, or excuse me, Mr. Truck, or 0.08 ounces of product. Suggested shelf life of 24 months, and this product is made in Italy and is a limited edition. We all know what that means. It means stand by. It could be a limited edition for a longer time than expected. I'm just opening this for the first time, fam, and oh my goodness me. I have to say, I like getting back to the original 15 pan palette. It makes me nostalgic. I am very happy she introduced a smaller 15 pan version. Usually retails for $65. It is significantly more expensive in the original size offering, but you do get significantly more product, and each shadow comes out around $8.60, and you get 15 of them. A lot of product per pan, so I think it is a great deal if you are a makeup pro, if you use a lot of eyeshadow, if you have a lot of work that requires shades like these. Maybe a lot for one person. I would say even a lot for a makeup enthusiast like myself. But we all made that argument of, we need it. It's beautiful. And here is her originally size 15 pan Lila palette. You see they are the same size. This is in the foam construction, whereas Biba, Safari, and Tropic come in the hard case design, but this is one of the more beautifully designed hard cases for the big 15 pan palettes. It has the duochrome finish, and on the back here you have pinholes as indicated by the magnetic frame. You could pop these out with a pin and switch around with pan sizes that fit the 2.5 gram. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely beautiful. Big mirror, strong hinges. What can I say? I'm in love already. The only repeat shade that exists in Triochrome is Scarab. Scarab is offered in her Chromium liquid formula, and now we have it in a metallic powder formula, in addition to Kinetic and Color Flip. This palette is different because if you haven't encountered Natasha Denona palettes before, she usually designs her palettes like a matrix. No matter what row, column, diagonal, quad, or trio you encounter, you could achieve a look with any of those combinations. But what's unique to the Triochrome palette, however, is that she designated whole rows as your looks, and she actually has names for each row. I have my trusty Campus Kokyo notebook for my notes. Top row here she calls Trailblazer, for those who look outside the box and create avant-garde looks. Next row we have True Enthusiast, those who master new techniques to create all types of looks. And lastly we have Total Flip, for those who create everyday, more classic, soft and subtle looks. Interesting that she would include a stronger multichrome than Kinetic in the everyday row, but I could understand that because of these softer mauve hues. well, you know, we'll get into it. One thing that I thought quite funny as I was jotting down these shade descriptions is that across from Sephora, Natasha, and Beautylish, all these shade descriptions all over the place. Sephora's even missing the word scarab in their description listing for these colors. I made sure I wrote all of them down because they are different across depending what retailer you seek out for information. But I'll give you all the options just so you know. You choose whichever you like best. With that said, why don't we get into these swatches? And for these, I'll pull you in a little closer. That's enough. And the palette is called Triochrome because you have 3 multichromes right down the middle. These are your pressed metallic pigments, and then you have the mattes to offset them, and we're looking at 12 in total. First up, we have Scarp, either a deep olive green or a dusty cool army green, depending on where you read. Androdite, pale green or pale mint. Here we go with Scarab. Ooh, this feels real smooth. A combination of poison green, warm gold, ooh, and blue. I don't know if you can detect all the shades here on the camera. It's very hard to see, but from here you could better detect that blue flip. But the actual texture is absolutely beautiful. Ion, acid green or light chartreuse. And lastly, we have Vert, green tone yellow or a vibrant mustard. For true enthusiasts, we have Naga to start us off. Pastel lavender or lilac. Manganese, deep eggplant or vibrant eggplant. Now Kinetic is the one I'm about to swatch that had the craziest descriptions. On Sephora, it says purple, pink, and muted green metallic. On Natasha Denona, it says purple, fuchsia, neutral silver. I think that's the more accurate one, and Beautylish has bronze, purple, pink with a multi-chrome finish. From seeing SP Nation's video, hi SP Nation, I agree with him. If you read the Sephora description, you're not going to see a muted green metallic shift in here, just based on what I see now. But you know what? Let's get to swatching it. Here we have Kinetic. I definitely detect more of a neutral silver that exists here. Muted green, the only thing I would say is that maybe you could interpret the neutral silver as a muted green, and it could translate differently when applied on the lid. I kind of see what they're talking about. It's very hard to detect, but when we get it on the eyeballs, we'll take it from there. Redox, dusty lilac or purple tone gray. Lastly, Tungsten, muted wine or toasted mauve. This, oh, imagine my nails. Let's get into Total Flip. To start us off, we have Vertex, cool ivory or creamy beige, plutonium, mustard yellow or burnt mandarin. Oh, that came out a lot more pop than how it appears in pan. That's pretty. And the very much awaited Color Flip. Color Flip is Pat Extraterrestrial. Wasn't about to flip you. Pat Extraterrestrial combination. I'm seeing here from the Natasha description, pink, nude, and green. From Sephora, fuchsia, nude, dusty green. Beautylish, green, purple with the multi-chrome finish. Let's see what we got. Oh, I definitely detect the green. You know, with multi-chromes, you have to really just spread them out wide, get the light just right, so you could see the full spectrum here. But it does very much remind me of Pat's Extraterrestrial. The number one difference is that this is a true metallic formula, and Extraterrestrial is the gel to powder like type of a thing. Color Flip, Extraterrestrial. I do think Extraterrestrial has a little more fuchsia in it. The green flip is similar, but that first note shade, I think Extraterrestrial leans a little more rose warm. Next up, we have Garmin, Peachy Taupe or Deep Rose Brown. I could see Deep Rose Brown. I like Deep Rose Brown. And lastly, we have Diatonic, Vibrant Light Coral or Soft Peach. I think that leans a little more vibrant than Soft Peach. Soft Peach, I think Peach Dusk or even Naked Blush. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is Naked Blush and this is Diatonic. That Diatonic next to Naked Blush looks definitely Soft Peach, but on its own, maybe it does lean more light coral. All swatches out of the way. I'm very happy with what I experienced so far. These mattes feel smooth. They feel very consistent to Natasha Denona creamy matte powder formulas. The multi-chromes feel smooth as well. I can't wait to get these on the eyes. And with that said, why don't we bring it a little closer again? That's enough. Prepping the lids, of course, with my Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. All right, fam, let's go row by row. I also would like for you to know, depending on, you don't have to use all 5 shades at once. You could work out from the multichrome, whether right or left, or just combine all the multichromes so you don't have to follow the row. But just know that if you don't know what to do, it's all laid out for you because, again, Natasha with her matrix system. Natasha likes to pat down her shadows. She's not one to swirl and twirl on the first shade. So for instance, this eye, oh my gosh, start with my Sonia G Jumbo Blender. Tap that on the outer lid. Just get it on there. These softer shades, I already know, will be better applied by packing on. And I think she goes in with Vert. She could have gone in with a combination of Vert and Ion. But judging from the shade, oh, that's not too bad. I definitely would rely on this to be a blend out shade. And I think perhaps it does better when the deeper shade is on the lid first. Whisking the edges here. That's a really pretty combination. I'm going in a couple of times because I want Vert to show. If you are deeper than me, I would suggest you go in with a lighter eye primer just so it can amplify the shade because it's soft, you know what I'm saying? Same classic crease with Ion, the acid green or light chartreuse. I'm gonna tap that on the very edges of Vert. That's pretty. Again, this is very light. And I already know based on my experience with lighter shades like Ion, you gotta tap it on and pack it on. If you try to swirl and twirl it, you'll get a wash of color. But if you want that to be more of an apparent gradient, tap it a tap. I'm also gonna tap Vert so it's more in on the lid here. Backing with Scarp to further blend the crease. I'm not even using a brush. Straight on here, oh, with the finger application. And I understand we have to compare it to its Chromium counterpart. The Chromiums are outrageously good. I mean, it's kind of insane how beautifully formulated those things are. They apply with ease. They feel comfortable on the lid. You can manipulate them in any way you want, and they last all day. But look how it just beautifully melted with Scarp. Taking more Scarp with my Jumbo Blender, and I'm just pat it, pat it, pat it, pat. Natasha took it out really far, actually. She like winged it out. I might have sabotaged myself, but let's see what we can do here. Tapping Ion on the tail edge of Scarp just to continue that gradient. Androdite with my small SURRATT brush, definitely for the inner corner highlight. Know that inner corner highlights don't have to be a shimmer or a metallic. Try that again. It can be a matte, but when it's this type of a shade, I think it adds something beautifully new to eye looks that typically rely on a shimmer or a metallic for an inner corner highlight. And again, you see how light it is, but you'll get benefit by tapping it in instead of fluffing it on. Taking Scarlet with that same SURRATT brush, just combining it with Androdite. I like that. That's pretty. These mattes are blending beautifully. They're laying on magically. My bigger SURRATT shadow brush now is Scarp on the outer lower lash line. I like my lower lash line really smoky, so that's why this brush works out for me. You could pull it down a little bit more than the usual. Taking Vert on the edges of that application to further smoke it out. Giving you grunge. Now Ion on the very tail edge of that blend. I'm going back and forth between the three just to kind of build this gradient up to what I need it to look like. And of course, Scarab between these matte shades here. Now, as beautiful as this looks, I do think the Scarab Chromium, it just has more shine, and you're gonna get more shine from a liquid product versus a powder one. So this is how Scarab looks like on its own. I want to layer on some of the Chromium Scarab. I'm just tapping that mostly on the center, and that really bumped it up. I'm just lightly tapping, not applying a whole lot. Definitely a lot more shiny. Tapping here some on the lower lash line. All right, we got our Trailblazer eye on. Let's go on to True Enthusiast. I got to. So beautiful. It looks like she took on a similar eye design like she did with the first row. Manganese Jumbo Blender. Outer V. Again, you can sweep in the darker matte when you apply a lighter matte, but I do appreciate this technique Natasha uses because it ensures that you get the most from the deep matte by just packing it on, and then you only blend the outer edges so you can leave alone this part and not over manipulate that placement. She might have went in with tungsten to blend out manganese and then maybe used redox and naga. I think she used naga for the inner corner. It looks like she did. Tungsten with Master Energy Jumbo Blender. Oh, tungsten has a little bit more, it's showing up more of like a deep rose shade. That's a nice shade. I like it. Going back in with manganese just to fill out the very outer edge. Start to take it out a little bit. This looked to be a rounder look. I'm trying to mimic that by not, I'm just such a creature of habit. I always want to like wing out my shadow. You need to erase, just erase. Now with Naga, inner part of the lid, Hakoro J146. Ooh, we definitely got to pack it on. Tap, tap, tap. That's a really nice transition from the lilac into that more toasted mauve, I think is described to be, of tungsten. Oh yes, we're getting somewhere. A little more tungsten, same B146. I'm just creating a smoother gradient here. Moment of truth, kinetic. Can we detect the ever elusive muted green? Or is it just neutral silver? I do feel kinetic is the weakest out of the multichromes in that you see two predominant shades here. It's hard to detect that neutral silver, although I think it's when you have it on your hand or if you do a really big swatch, you could probably detect that third shade. But it's a beautiful shade. I mean, you can definitely see there's some shift there. Going with my small SURRATT brush with redox for our matte highlight again. Same brush with kinetic on the inner lower lash line. Went a little crazy, just erasing. My bigger SURRATT shadow brush, manganese on the outer lash line. Trying to keep it round and not wing it out as much. Then tungsten on the edges of that application. You know, I'm taking Naga on the edges here to smoke it out a little bit, but to create a smoother gradient. There we go. All right, let's slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of the final look and I have some Shandelier lashes on. Thank you, Sean K Beauty, for sending these over. You are so kind to do so. I have the Style Lady Grace on. You have the Trailblazer Row on this side and the True Enthusiast Row on this side. And here's a wide shot of both looks. On lips, I have the Pat McGrath Permagel Liner in Structure with Natasha Denona's I Need a Nude in Andrea. Building these looks, so much fun. These colors work so well together in the rows that they're in. It just makes it, for me, I know I can't speak for everyone and perhaps you still find it intimidating, but no matter how you combine the shades in their respective row, you will come out with a beautiful look. Whether you just use one matte and the metallic multichrome, whether you use just the multichrome, you know what I want to do. We'll go into the last row on one eye, and then the last eye will just combine all the multichromes. Most definitely. Until then, fam, let me wrap it up soon because the light's going down, and I'll see you in a bit. Time for total flip. I need to do that look where they put plutonium as a liner. This right here, I have a feeling she went in with Garmin first on the crease because that looked real, like, rich. I'm gonna tap this on actually. That's a pretty color. Tappity tap. Once I get the majority on, I'll whisk it a little bit. So I'm gonna wing it out. Diatonic with my J146. Tapping the edges here. That's the thing with Natasha mattes. You can just tap and they blend themselves. Okay? You just get them on the skin. They do the work for you. That same smaller brush, tapping in more of Garmin. Color flip, here we come. Let's see it. That's very pretty. Definitely, like I said before, when I compared it to Extraterrestrial, it leans more cool compared to that shade. And now Vertex. inner corner highlight right here. Tap it, tap, tap. Color flip here on the middle part of the lower lash line. Garment outer portion to complete the wing. A little bit of diatonic on the edges. And now plutonium. I don't know if we're gonna get the same impact. You know why? I think Natasha went in with something else because it looks so bold. What I'm gonna do is apply a little bit of my hourglass. Kind of like a wing shape, you know? This is one of my Tuckahoe synthetic shadow brushes. And I'm just painting the primer on top of color flip. I already started applying plutonium, but it's all good. I'm just gonna let that set and then move into this eye quickly. I think she blended out kinetic, maybe use one of the peacher shades for the blend. Definitely went in with the chromium for this liner. What did she use on the inner corner though? Maybe that is Scarab because it looks so teal. Kinetic, blending that out. Natasha Denona Metallics makes it so you don't only have the option of applying it beautifully on the lid, but you could actually blend it out. I'm going in with Naga, see what that does. I might have to go in with tungsten. Maybe a little bit of tungsten right here. I believe she did color flip on the lid. Dare I say she applied Scarab on the inner corner. I know that's a weird thing, but I think it's pretty. She definitely had it here on the lower lash line. I'm gonna connect that with kinetic androdite here on the inner lower lash line. Why not? I'm actually gonna place it on the majority of the inner corner, but still have Scarab melt with that shade and into kinetic and color flip. The question is, what does she use for the wing? And this eye is inspired by Anastasia Vovedina. This is a Natasha eye. This is a Natasha eye, and the first one also a Natasha eye. Before we do that, however, let's try plutonium again. There it is. Yeah, I think you definitely have to apply some sort of base on the wing so it could show up distinctly so on top of the shadow. And this is my Hakuhodo. Oh, it rubbed off. It's like G something something. I'll put it down in the description box. I do want to see this color, however, just as like a blowout one. This is my Wayne number 3. Is from his collection, so it's a little softer than his goat hair. This is Squirrel, which I wanted to use on purpose because I wanted a softer application of plutonium. I actually want to apply plutonium on my cheeks. Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. I think I want to apply diatonic on my cheeks. This really pretty peachy shade, and maybe a little bit of plutonium in combination. That's pretty. If you lightly press it, it just gives you a warm mandarin peachy type of combination. Now we gotta draw this ultraviolet wing. Oh my god, okay, here we go. On top of it all. Oh yes, there it is. Not my best wing because I'm like rushing, but it's fine. As long as you can see how it shows up distinctly from kinetic, then we're good. All right, fam, let's slap on these lashes and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of both looks. You can see plutonium a little bit better here, as well as ultraviolet on this eye. Again, inspired by Anastasia. And here's a wide shot of both looks. On this side, I have plutonium and diatonic. And on the multichrome side, I combined tungsten and Naga. I thought the mauve would look nice as a blush. And considering that the overall eye is cooler in tone, it will be a nice matchup. And on the lips, I have the same combination of Structure and Andrea. And I want to wrap this up because the sun's going down. This was my first impressions of the Natasha Denona Triochrome. And I have to say, big surprise there. I knew just from the color story it was going to be exquisite. I appreciate how the shades are arranged, and I do think it fairly easier for someone to navigate the palette. Again, you could do the whole row, or you could work out from right to left. You could combine all the multichrome successfully. Like, don't think for a minute it's not going to be good, okay? And keep in mind the multichromes are in her traditional beautifully silky metallic formula. Blends out like a dream. You don't need a matte. You could just go in with the multichromes themselves, blend them out, and they don't have a dark base like a lot of multichromes I've encountered, so your look won't appear smoky. It'll just have that multichrome gradient. I need to do a live comparing her shadows from other palettes. I also need to do a live in combining these multichrome metallic powders with her chromium Chromiums. So there might be a lot of Triochrome content going your way, but I just love to provide it because for my own self and for my creativity, I just love to share because there's so many possibilities. And if you do have this palette, you know, we want to make use of it, okay? Let me know if you picked it up, if you had tried it already, what your thoughts are on it. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, tutorial, multichrome, triochrome extravaganza, monthly favorites, or nightly life chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.